Welcome to hell. Why do they do this to us like it? It's enormous, and it's just filled with all the local yokels who they thought they were going to come in here and it was going to be the Kentucky parade. And hell, we all thought it. I was prepared for it. We all were prepared for it. And then what does Kentucky do? They go and play one of their best games of the year again. They do it against Tennessee, against Georgia, against Ole Miss. I mean, three.
Well, I would say Ole Miss is probably not going to make the playoff. They'll have to beat Georgia next week. But this team played two playoff teams, and it probably played.
A lawnmower. I mean, this is hell. This is the worst place ever.
And they probably played. You could argue maybe Ole Miss. That's probably the three best games they played all year.
Yeah, against all the best teams. You play the bad teams, you can't do it. That's why I'm in such a tough spot, Lucky. Because, I mean, we knew that they were overmatched. They were playing one of the best defenses in the country. The offense has been pretty bleh to this point. They're rolling quarterbacks in and out. And it's like, all right, well, you know what? Low expectations. I'm not going to get my hopes up. And then I'm the guy who's holding all of the stuff trying to wash his car, and he's just fumbling it all over the place. I mean, we got losing horse bets. I'm wearing a medium shirt right now because I can't bring my freaking jacket. I mean, it was everything was going wrong. And then what do? They can't even just like be a normal football team. Just be a normal football team. Instead, they got my hopes up. Kentucky was down 3 with 13 minutes to play. Just go win the game. And you know what they did? They dropped a freaking snap
with the ball. Yeah,
they just dropped the snap. Can we just? Why did you let me believe? I didn't want to believe. I wanted Tennessee fans to just be like, "Ha, you suck, Roush." But no, here I am, getting my hopes up, believing again. Why did I do that? Why did I think that they could beat this stupid team in this stupid stadium in this stupid place?
Let's have a little sit-down interview here. So, Nick, they get the ball back. They're down 3. There's like 13 minutes left.
13 minutes left, yep.
Did you think they were going to win at that point?
So here's the thing, with
a backup quarterback.
I didn't think that they could score one time with Gavin Williamson in the game, but then he went and threw a rope down the field, and then he hits Jamori Macklin. And not only did he hit Jamori Macklin for a 32-yard touchdown, they can't score from the 2, so they get a delay of game. Genius to do that right there. Smart move. They can never punch it in from the 2, so let's go from the 7. And what happens? They hit Macklin again, and he gets the octopus, a freaking octopus. That was the point where I was like, you know what? They just might do this. They might just win this stupid game. This might be the something dumb could happen. And you know what? Just hand the ball to number 10 and let him go. I thought they had a chance to do that, and then they dropped the ball on second down. They can't even get a snap right.
Yeah, I first want to say, that was a gutsy effort by them. Now, you can say, no moral victories, yada, yada, but that was a gutsy effort. Brock Vandagriff gets hurt. Baron Brown gets hurt in this game. DJ Waller's a guy they thought could play. Can't play in the game.
They said 10 starters were out by the game's end.
They're playing Tyrion Nichols and Nasir Addison, big snaps at cornerback in this game.
JQ Hardaway was cramping. They were down to 2 cornerbacks against this offense for most of the game.
So, I think the valiant effort. And you really have to, I think, tip your cap to them for being able to rally the troops and come and play a game like this. And again, we see this team's potential. But I think, Kentucky, they were very fortunate tonight. Guy missed 3 field goals that haven't missed inside 45 yards.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And if it weren't for luck, we'd have none.
Defensively, they were just
bad luck. You can get
the Tennessee's down efficiency was an issue in this game. They were able to play ahead of the chains all game, where Kentucky had to live. They kind of lived and died with explosive plays.
Which they haven't gotten all year. It's they had 0 30-yard runs.
Right.
Only one other team in FBS had 0 30-yard runs, Syracuse. And they just throw the ball 100 times a game. And what do they do on the first play? 50-yard run. Of course.
But you take out that run with Wilcox, he ends up with 50 carries or 50 yards on 16 carries. It was just very boom or bust, and that's hard to live, especially when Tennessee's doing what they're doing, just creating scoring chances every drive, just efficiently moving the ball down the field, both pass and run. That makes it hard. And on top of that, Nick, they lose another turnover battle. Where this game was lost for me, it's 10-7 at the half. You get the field goal down here in the middle 8. You actually get a stop, and they miss a field goal. So you win the middle 8. You have the ball. You get a first down. Sack fumble. Malachi Wood just gets beat. Sack fumble. They go to a true drop back on first down. Sack fumble. Tennessee takes the lead. You get another stop, and then Gavin Wimsatt comes in.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and medium. You're in field goal range. You could cut the lead to 14-13 right there, and you're right there. Instead, what was almost a pick six ends in the end zone. So there was a 14-0 run on the turnovers, and that is just – and then the other turnover you needed a Pop Dumas-Johnson strip and recovery to prevent them from scoring that time. And so that's just too much for this team to overcome. To me, like you saw maybe some explosive play, potential growth. We've seen why we've been clamoring for Jamarian Wilcox. We see why some of the advanced metrics are what they are. He's a heck of a football player. We saw like why that Jamari Macklin catch, it was what was on tape at North Texas. It's what we were excited about when they got him. A goal ball winner down the sideline who wins in contested catch situation and can create big plays vertically. And that's the first time we've seen it since Southern Miss. And so you see all of that and it gets you excited, but then there's also just the self-inflicted errors. I mean, how many 4 or 5 false start penalties, holding penalties. You get a run early in the ball game. Wilcox breaks a 15, 16, 17-yard run, block in the back, brings that play back. It's just too many self-inflicted mistakes for this team to overcome. And you can, defensively they're banged up, and the defense did not have a very good day overall, I would say. But just too many drives are starting on their side of the field.
Yep.
And so that's really what it comes down to. I
got to talk to you about one bad turnover play, though. Because there were some bad turnovers, right? Don't get me wrong. There was an almost turnover that would have been awesome if Nasir Addison catches it.
Yeah.
I mean, hits him right in the hands. That's the havoc plays that aren't turnovers. Kentucky leads the nation in havoc, but they're like in the 80s in takeaways. So, like, they're doing the things that should create turnovers, but they're not actually making the plays. But let's get to something more frustrating than a dropped interception. Like it. It's 3rd and 5. They've run the ball 7 times. Gavin Wimsatt, mind you, not a part of the game plan whatsoever. He was part of it last week. They lit the fire under Brock's ass. They're like, we're done with the Gavin Wimsatt thing. He's only going in if Brock gets hurt. What happens? James Pierce comes in. Brock gets hurt, concussion, head injury, whatever you want to call it. He's out for a while. So Gavin comes in. We're run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. 3rd and 5. You're in field goal range. Let's run the damn ball. Like it's funny, we had this conversation about RPOs on the drive up here today, didn't we?
We did.
And what did you say about maybe they aren't running that many RPOs?
Yeah.
Why would they not run RPOs? Because they probably don't trust the quarterback to make the right decision. What happened on 3rd and 5?
They're sitting on the sticks. They throw it right at the sticks. They jump the route.
They call an RPO. The Mike blitzes. They wanted him to run it. He throws it. I mean, it's just...
Yeah. The mistakes are just, they cannot stop them and they can't overcome them. That's kind of been the bigger issue, I think, for this offense, because they are actually, Nick, they did it in a different way because they were more explosive tonight, but they've moved the football and created opportunities to score, but they can't finish, and a lot of times it's self-inflicted errors.
Oh. Huh. Have we done that show yet? I think we've done that show a couple of times. Steven remembers doing that show, the self-inflicted mistakes one. And what's annoying too, it's like the beginning of the game, they're not making the self-inflicted mistakes. It's Tennessee who's doing it. They're the ones having the bonehead plays. They had the first down that's called back, and you have they were the ones making the mistakes, and then Kentucky, they just had to shoot themselves in the foot.
Even after the half, Chaz Nimrod drops a pass right here that he might have took to the house.
Yeah, it was multiple times. Yeah.
So they had face mask on Gavin Wimsatt on, what was that? That was 4th down.
Yeah, 4th
that extends the drive.
Yeah.
So they even made some mistakes. Like you got, I'd say Tennessee's C game or so tonight.
It was the perfect recipe.
And you had your chances. Now your quarterback gets hurt, and that's always going to be something tough to overcome. Especially in a close game like that. But you had your chances. You would have liked to got the ball back a second time down 3 to see what you could have done. There at the end, the defense, they go 91 yards, couldn't get a stop. The 2 3rd and 7 pickups by Nico were kind of
those were killer.
To me, that's what two things won them the game in the second half. It was the 14-0 turnover blitz.
Yep.
And then it was Nico converting those 2 3rd and 7s.
Yep.
The second one comes, Nasir Addison's in the game, inexperienced cornerback. He's playing off coverage.
Yeah.
It probably just is what it is.
Yeah.
But you got him on a rollout. You have it defended. He just kind of extends the play, makes a very good throw, and Dante Thornton makes a great catch on the sideline. If not, they're kicking a 40-something yard field goal. And based on what we saw,
Yeah.
Were you going to bet that was going in
Nope.
at that point in the game? And so the defense couldn't get the big stop at the end, and it was just you had a chance, you had a real chance here, and you just couldn't capitalize. But there was a lot going against them too, and I think we do have to recognize that.
We do. I did want to mention briefly, Cutter Boley could be an option for the Murray State game. Bush Hamden said that after the game, so something to keep in mind as Brock Vandegrift deals with his injury situation. Got a bye week before you play an FCS team, basically 2 bye weeks. But Brad White, he had an impassioned speech after the game. You're going to see it on the Kentucky Sports Radio YouTube channel or wherever, but he was very proud of the fight and the courage and the gall that they showed. They showed some character. They had some tough conversations in that defensive locker room. But I know the question. This is the big question that everybody's going to be asking. Where in the hell has this been? Like, how is the team that played in November and September the same team that we saw for the last 3 weeks in October? And I think that's the part.
That's the frustrating part. Yeah.
How are we supposed to feel about this team right now, Adam Luckett? I have no idea because I'm at a loss of words.
You are what your record says you are. You get 12 opportunities guaranteed, and that the results are the results at the end of the day. So yeah, they gave a valiant effort against Tennessee. They've played, I think, they're probably 3 best games against the best 3 teams on their schedule, but they didn't play well in games that were games they needed to win. And I would argue they kind of went over. You know, when you talk about Vandy, you talk about South Carolina, you talk about Auburn.
That Auburn team stinks. How do they lose to them?
So you went over there. God. So at the end of the day, Nick, your record is what it is. And the part that's frustrating, if you take care of your, those opportunities, this game is a lot bigger. But it's frustrating. It does seem like it's a season where they're not catching many breaks.
Oh, any. Any.
Other than the Ole Miss guy missing a kick, and then this Tennessee kicker getting the yips today. They're really not catching any breaks, and the injuries were just insurmountable. But the turnover problem, that's an issue. You got to win the turnover battle to win these football games,
no way around
consistently.
It.
You just have to.
There's no way around
they
it.
keep losing the turnover battle, and until that gets fixed, and that's 2 sides. Offense, you can't have multi turnovers in a game like this. All 3 came on your side of the field, and defensively, you got to create some takeaways. And Sir Addison had a chance to make a huge play, and I don't know if he picked 6 but you're probably getting the ball in the red zone.
I don't know if you want to be in the red zone now.
32-yard touchdown here.
There we go.
Josh Caddis 27-yard touchdown.
Yeah, you can't be in the red zone.
So they went 0 for 2 in the red zone.
Something like that. It wasn't good. The season has been good. The season has been fun. You know what else wasn't very good? The blackout. It's pretty overrated in my opinion. It looked cool. I like the marching band. They had twirly glow-up light sticks. Running out the tee, okay, I'll give them that. That was cool because it was the only thing lit up, but it was just I was expecting more, Tennessee. You didn't deliver. But you did deliver another loss because that's what we do. We come down here, we lose football games, and we're miserable. And today, I was in hell. I've been in hell all day because that's what this place is. If I don't show up for church, when the good Lord brings me home, this is where I'm going to end up. And I'm going to be stuck here for eternity.
Yeah, and I think moving forward, it's about, one, how healthy can they get? It's about, what is the status of Brock Vandegrift? What do you're going to win the Murray State game, but then what can you do in these last 2 games to try to go win one of those? And do we see consistent efforts like this one, or do we see the team we saw against Vanderbilt and Auburn and South Carolina?
Unpredictable Kentucky football team. We're supposed to know what the hell we're talking about, and I just look like an idiot every time I come out here. But I don't even know what to think. It's just so painstaking because just when you think you don't know what this team is, or you think you do know what they are, they go and they do something like this. I had no idea they had this game in them.
But they also were the same team.
I know. It's just, but if they played with this much conviction in the month of October, they're winning 1 or 2 of those games.
I think the effort level was big. You notice from the jump. It helps when your offense goes down and scores, though. Right?
Yeah.
I think that was probably an issue the last few weeks was the defense just felt like
it's pretty big when you score points.
Abandoned by the
offense.
Helps you win games. Ways.
Yeah. Still haven't scored 2 touchdowns in a half.
Still haven't scored more than 2 touchdowns in an SEC game.
Oh.
But the thing is, you score 3 times against that Tennessee defense. You have another where you could have kicked a field goal. If you can score that many points against that group, you should be able to score on everybody.
Yeah, Tennessee hadn't given up 20 points. Still haven't given up 20 points all year. to a team. That was a good defense. They ran the ball well against them. I don't know what to think. You know what? Maybe it'll get better, but we get a break. We get a 1 week break. We don't have to put ourselves through this for a week. I'm glad that they showed a little conviction, a little heart. We don't have to talk about the spiral in the season ending now. But look, I don't know what to do anymore with these guys.
Yep. It's 3 games to go, and we get to see what they can do these last 3. They're going to need to win out to get to a bowl game, and that feels unlikely.
But you know what? Everything unlikely this season, who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? I just know that I'm ready to get the hell out of Knoxville. So let's get the hell out of here.